History beckons for the Kiwis for the second time in a week as the Gillette Tri-Nations comes to Auckland and Ericsson Stadium. Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome from the City of Sails as a rejuvenated New Zealand play host to the Kangaroos. Damp night as the tournament comes to the Shaky Isles as we go inside the Kangaroos dressing rooms. A team that is certainly under pressure coming into this one. There's their lineup from Minicello right through to the front row of Sivanasiva and Price. A galaxy of superstars of modern day rugby league. The captain, of course, Darren Lockyer, and another rugby league aristocrat alongside him in Andrew Johns. The coach is Wayne Bennett.
Changes on the bench, most important for Australia this week, and the influence of Trent Barrett. Just where will he play when he comes on is an interesting point. Does Danny Baderas play the whole game?
Yeah, a side that certainly copped a lot of criticism during the week, particularly the halves.
The men in black, they are back. Certainly. Let's have a look at their side. Brent Webb, of course, twinkle toes himself in the one jumper. Jones, his last ever game. Well, so it seems. Stay tuned for more in Test colours. The captain, he equals the record tonight, of course, held by Gary Freeman for most appearances. Ruben Wiki, a side that is brimming with confidence coming into this one.
And two changes for the Kiwis as well. Shantaine Harpy straight off the jet, all the way back from Bradford. A lot of people will be looking because Clinton Torpy last week, nothing short of outstanding. But if anything can describe Shantaine, he's $1 million man.
Darren Lockyer leads out the green and goals. The man behind him, of course, the captain of the Warriors, Stephen Price. Andrew Johns, you can see there also. What a player he has been, of course. Stephen Price, who knows this ground reasonably well, and Brent Tate, his brother-in-law, and of course an unforgettable try for the Kangaroos last weekend in the tournament opener.
Silencing his critics, Brent Tate, and Australia going with the same pack that opened the match at Telstra just under a week ago.
So an embrace for the Crisco Kiwis just prior to kick-off here tonight.
And certainly making it clear that they have no issue whatsoever with making the Kangaroos wait in the rain. A side that Brian McLennan in the pre-match show made it quite clear that for years we've endured pain. Now it's time for them to inflict some of their own pain on this Kangaroo side.
Fifth time these two sides have met at this venue. First test match here at Ericsson. Trans-Tasman test, that is, in 6 years. And out they come to a hero's reception. Well, young and old, they are lapping this up, the fans. Why wouldn't they after what we saw last week? The man who got off the plane on Wednesday morning from Bradford, helping the Bulls, of course, to Super League glory. And Nigel Vunganar, of course, such a key man in the halves. There's the freshman, the rookie, Hiafeka Paliasina, coming off the bench for the first time in national colours tonight. Well, the locals, they are primed. They can't wait for kick-off here as we get set for that.
And they will face off against the Kangaroos right on halfway. Translation of the haka and all of that. There are the statements, one upward step, another upward step. It's rather pertinent on the back of their win last week. It will be a giant step if they make it back-to-back victories. Their coach quoted this week, Brian McLennan, is saying it would be great to whack the world champs back-to-back. Kiwi chant up here at Ericsson Stadium.
Okay, let's go.
You're watching the action on Channel 9 while Tony gets us underway. In the Australians' first use of the ball, it's the Warrior Steve Price. The coach right around the chops for his trouble for Rory Anderson. A Warriors teammate, first tackle of the night, fifth row Simonasiva. With the ball, 10 metres out and pushed back. Impressive first couple of tackles from the home team. And again, the defence is up quickly. Anderson is there. So too Shontaine Harpy, who's backing the fold tonight. It was on Fitzgibbon. And now with O'Donnell, his first touch and his second test. 3 and 4 defenders again for New Zealand. Leading the charge that time, Solomata in the starting side tonight. Gasnier gets his first touch.
Marcus hold.
And that is tackle 5, 35 metres out from the Australian line. Lockyer, the first kick of the night. And down the centre. Webb didn't get to it on the falls. We're about 10 metres out from his own line. Good chase from the Australians. Outstanding first up change from Cooper. Kennedy by his side. And the Kiwis have their first possession of the night as Webster is right in the tackle on his own 20. New Zealand now with Fataua taken across field there by Simonasiva. Referee in charge again tonight is the Englishman Steve Ganson. And early on the crowd not all that impressed with his 10 metres. Kiwis work forward. Rauhihi now, the cowboy in the front row from New Zealand, takes on Fitzgibbon. Takes on O'Donnell. And was held on the 40-metre line. Last tackle, a kick from inside the 40 from Brent Webb. He was under a little bit of pressure. Neat bounce there for Minichello with the ball. And rushes back to be taken there by Kidwell. He'll play it on one, 32 metres out from the Kangaroos line. This is Tate. Scored one of the best solo tries you'll see in a test match ever. Last Saturday night at Telstra. And started an incredible comeback. Here's Siva. Met low in the tackle of Wiki. Finished off by Solomona. Badiris gets them going to the left. Kennedy with the ball. Met ball and all, front on by Anderson. Now just a metre inside the New Zealand half. Slippery conditions here. Breeze has died down. Still a bit of rain about. As the Australians go to the right, an outstanding tackle on Gasnier that time. It was good stuff there by Vanavai, the teenager. And the kick on the last. This time across to the wing of Webster in only his second test. And Kennedy, the first man up there for the Australians to make the tackle. So a tight opening. Both teams, the handling has been good so far. Vanavai, he was on the push back and was able to pass. Now away they go with Harpy. Tackled 15 metres inside the New Zealand half. Modutoni, Solomona. In those three players, you've got three players who are normally in the English Super League. But back now in Test football. Fontaine Harpy has had 3 years over in England now, after beginning his career at this ground with the Warriors. And on the bench tonight, Tony Pulatua is back, closest to camera. Penalty to New Zealand, first of the night. Right on halfway.
Oh, great opening to the game, Bossy. There's nowhere to hide out here tonight. The conditions are wet and slippery. You've just got to tuck it under your arm, run hard and straight and take your lumps and bumps. Tremendous opening from both sides. The Kiwis with the first penalty take the first advantage.
They scored the first 3 tries last week, not just the first. Tony, and away for the captain, Ricky. Tackled on one, 21 metres out from the Kangaroos line. It was Fitzgibbon there, first up. Rauhihi doesn't get the ball. Jones does and feeds along for Anderson. He looked like he was held. He was able to pass off the deck back to Stacey Jones. 20 metres out from the Australian line. But early pressure here on the Kangaroos. Bunganau in the dummy half. And they come to the right side. Anderson's been heavily involved so far. And falling into the tackle there was Kidwell. Made it easy for Andrew Johns. This is Fatawira drifting back infield. He's 10 out from the line. Badiris there with Siva. So chance here for the Kiwis with Jones. Holds it up for Webb. Webb got away from one. That was Gasnier. They're able to come again. That's the last tackle. New Zealand in possession. Modutoni was a slow play the ball. Jones with it. Gets it to the in goal. Here come the chasers. Tate got his hand to it. It'll be a line drop out here for Australia. Repeat set for New Zealand.
And plenty of feeling in this one too. A little bit of pushing and shoving in the in goal there. Good kick here from Stacey Jones. The short kick on the last tackle will be a big play tonight in these conditions. Brent Tate just got a hand to that ball.
He's brought balance and structure back to this New Zealand side as Stacey Jones. It's great to see him back in the number 7. He's really adding an element of control to the Kiwis' performance last week, and hopefully he'll do it again tonight.
Johns it was with a line drop out. Back comes Rauhihi. Running headlong there into Kennedy. Into Stephen Price. 29 metres out from the Kangaroos line with Louis Anderson. Anderson now almost back to the 20. No player busier so far in the game than the lock forward for New Zealand. Here's Jones. That time Wiki was a decoy. They come out wide. Solomona, a player capable of offloading. 3 there in the tackle. Lockheed was third man in to wrap up the ball with Gasnier and also O'Donnell. Jones, 12 metres out. Across, Bunganau decides to run. And it's held in the tackle of Fitzgibbon. And a good effort from Kennedy. 9 metres out from the line. Modutoni. This time Webb turns it back inside. The defence only just able to hang on the tackle on Kidwell. And now they've come up with an error, New Zealand, have they?
Your play the ball's too slow there.
Referee Ganson.
Too slow and messy. Well, he's running a turnover here. It was the last play. Very messy play. The ball, Rauhihi was the dummy half. didn't have a chance to pass, died with the ball. The Australians have diffused it, and already tonight you can see the Australians getting off their line much quicker in defence. Good speed of line.
Now Matt Cooper's come into dummy half. Just a short burst for him, 15 metres out from the Australian line. Badeiras, and up they come with Price. So a total of 7 Warriors in tonight's match, 6 for the New Zealand team, and the lone Warrior in the Australian side is Price. Kangaroos 32 metres out from their line. Kennedy at dummy half. Andrew Johns short pass that time for Sivanasiva, but not really at full throttle into the tackle of Modu Tony and Anderson and Rauhihi. They all peel off. Away for Johns. He's kicked from just outside the 40. Not his biggest. It bounces up there for Webb, who links up with Webster. And Webster cops tackle number 1, 25 metres out from the New Zealand line. And the Aussie bench tonight. Riles is there. Barrett back in Test football alongside Waterhouse and O'Mealy. Our pictures coming courtesy of Sky Sports here in New Zealand, and our thanks to them. As Anderson with the ball, taken across field in that tackle of Fitzgibbon. Topped the tackle count in the first test last week. First game of 7 in this Tri-Nation series. Jones' kick is from inside the 40. Now he's got the angle on it, but not the depth. Finds the sideline, 28 metres out from the green and gold line.
That's good tactics. Good tactics. In this weather, you just don't want to keep heading it up, waiting for an error. The defence is solid. There's heavy physical contact out there, and Jones took the option of kicking earlier in the tackle count. Didn't pick up the 40-20, but every metre you can gain from the kick and chase tonight will be valuable. I like the start by the Australians. A couple of their kick and chases have been good too.
The Aussies look to be slowing the match down here a bit. Kiwis found touch. Aussies walk to the scrum as we see the feet go in.
And Johns tries a little short side play. Cooper's with it, and Cooper upended in the tackle. Kidwell got nice and physical. 31 metres out from the Australian line. Sivanasiva with that charge, and loses his legs right at the finish. Anderson took them and is able to play it 40 metres out from the line. Now back for Fitzgibbon, met front on there by Tony, and then plenty more black and white jumpers come in just inside the Australian half. No scorers yet. Tri-Nations Rugby League on Channel 9. Deep kick from Johns. It's going to pull up perfectly. Webb back in goal, hoping that it goes touch in goal. He's taken it over the line. He has taken it over the line. Line drop out. It's the right call from the touch judge. Touch judge Clark from last week. You were wrapping him deluxe, Gus. He's done it again.
And Andrew Johns replies with a kick early in the tackle count. This goes back into the end goal. Beautifully weighted. Webb looks at it. Well, yeah, he had to get a touch at it, no doubt about that. Tape forced the issue. This is a line dropout. Advantage Australia.
I'll be interested to know what the ruling is there, because he was actually pushed into the ball. He didn't really play it, did he? So,
but once you're shielding it, you're deemed to have played at it.
Well, hello. The video referee has said 20-metre restart.
Concentrate, mate.
They're all set to go. They're all set for the dance. And the music stopped. You make the decision at home. Tate makes the push. And touch in goal. And poor old Touchy on the eastern side. He's shaking his head. Rauhihi's with the ball here for the Kiwis.
So are we.
35 metres out from their own line. Modu Tony. This time with Solomona. Solomona makes good ground. Makes 10. Caught the swinging arm over the top from Price. Badeiras has to come in to finish off with O'Donnell. They've got some big boys on the bench to come on when the lights of Solomona get a little tired. Paliacina there. Pulatua's on the bench tonight for New Zealand. It's power packed through their 17. Wiki up with Kidwell. Kidwell front on defence that time. O'Donnell. And Price finishes off 40 metres out from the Australian line. Fifth tackle is the call from referee Ganson. Slow to his feet to play it was Kidwell. Back for Jones. He goes high. He was under pressure from Kennedy. This one's going to come down. Making a run at the ball. Well, Webb was knocked out of the play. The Kiwis fullback. Play on for Wiki. Away for Webster. He utilises the chip. Minicello's back there for the ball. And the Kangaroos in possession, but under enormous pressure right on their own goal line. Exciting passage of play. And there we've got Vangana and Johns ready to go. Kidwell comes to the scene of the crime. More a push than a punch. It's still enough to bring tempers to the surface.
Yes, I think we're all fair dinkum tonight. It's on the line. There's been a big build-up to this game in the media, probably unlike the first test. But the win by the Kiwis has drawn a line in the sand. And the referee will have to take charge of things early here.
Isn't it great to see, but we've got an Australian side coming into this match under pressure. We've got a Kiwi side that was red hot last week. They're looking to go back to back. The passion's there, the enthusiasm's there. The Australians are looking to gain control early, as are the Kiwis. I think this is going to be one hell of a game of rugby league here tonight.
38-28 it was last week. Here's the play again, the tackle on Minicello. That was all fine. And then the little confrontation between Vangana and Johns, and Webster actually started it. And plenty of boos from the fans as they saw it come up on the big screen. So the Australians in possession, 21 metres out from their own line. This is Price. Going straight at Anderson there, and they've picked him up. Solomona's got him. So too is Wiki. Good pass for Fitzgibbon. And Fitzgibbon's able to advance the ball 15 metres.
Well, lucky you loaded that. He was on his way back to North Harbour there, Steve Price. They picked him up and just carried him all the way back.
He's Ben Kennedy. He spins away from one. Real force in the defence from both teams early. Medeiros on that short side, and the markers got out very quickly to make the tackle. Shontaine Harpy on O'Donnell. This is Gaznia. His dummy half running can really leave its mark on tonight's match. Last tackle here. Australia in an attacking zone to kick. Andrew Johns goes high. Probably not quite where he wanted it to land, but Australia have come down with the ball. Cooper's pass over the top. Minicello round the back. Picked up there. Lockyer's gone over. The Kangaroos have come up with a try. They don't go to the video referee. 4 points to Australia against the Kiwis.
Good fortune to Australia here, but I've got to say this ball has gone a mile forward. I cannot believe they have not picked up the last passes going forward. The Australians are running into a stiff breeze here. A strong southerly. It's caught by Cooper. Hail Mary over the top. Picked up by Minicello. Well, that ball just goes a mile forward. Goes a good yard forward. Well picked up by Lockyer in the greasy conditions. They had the advantage of the breeze, the Kiwis. Good catch by Cooper. One arm pass around the top speculator. Minicello just throws it anywhere. Well picked up by Lockyer. He scores. I think the Australians are a little fortunate there.
This try here, I think, may hurt the Kiwis psychologically. They've had the better run of it, if you ask me. That's a lucky try to the Australians. Put them 4 points in front with a kick to go, but that can hurt you an early try against the run of play.
Craig Fitzgibbon, just 1 from 4 last week. His first one from the sideline, 23 metres out for a 6-0 lead for the Kangaroos. Fitzgibbon's kick on its way, but not successful. Test Rugby League on Channel 9 will break at 4 points to 0 Australia over New Zealand. So Darren Lockyer the try, Fitzgibbon unsuccessful. Australian bench O'Mealy returns to Test football, so does Barrett. Good start though by the front rowers out there, Price and Sivanasiva. On Channel 9 on this Friday night, it is Test Rugby League. It is game 2 of the Tri-Nations, and Australia lead by 4 points to 0. And from the restart of play, Minicello thought it was going over the dead ball line. He said leave it, they all said leave it. We've got a line drop out.
Yeah, I spoke about the strong breeze here. A good, long, deep kick-off. And for a moment, Anthony Minicello said, well, the breeze will do its work. This will go out over the dead ball line. He left it, and it comes down inches within the field of play. Line drop out, back to the Kiwis. Here they come.
Steve Price didn't like Minicello's decision. He saw the look on his face from the replay, and now Kidwell back with it for New Zealand, 25 metres out. Australia up by 4 points to 0. Rahihi with it. Carries inside the 20. Fitzgibbon was first there. He's lost the ball. It's back for Vangana. No call of hell. Vangana puts the head down. And has taken in the tackle of Price. Only 6 metres out. Little mousetrap play. And Fatawira. He jumps out of acting half. Now for Jones. Floats it over the top. Jake Webster's over. Tainted left his wing. And Webster made the most of the smallest opportunity to get the maximum result. And just like that, it's 4-all here at Ericsson Stadium.
A little bit of second phase play here, opens an opportunity for Nigel Vunganart to push play close to the Australian line, and the try really comes out of nothing, just out of the vision of the great little halfback Stacey Jones. There's the unload to Vunganart. Now he will just make an incision close into the Australian line. Bit of a mousetrap play from the dummy half. Fatawira goes across field, and Stacey Jones just wends his way back, and a basketball style pass finds Brent Tate out of possession, and Webster scores in the corner. Tremendous play by the little halfback.
Well, I've heard it called reggae football. The Kiwis are very good at it. They toss the ball out the back, they drift across field, looking for the gap that's going to open, and the little master, number 7, Stacey Jones. We said before he can exhibit control and add structure to this Kiwi lineup. Well, he just showed he's got a bit of brilliance in his game also.
What do you call it? Reggae football?
Reggae footy, Gus. Reggae footy.
I am getting old, Fred. I've never heard of reggae football. How old am I getting, Bossy?
You're getting very old, Gus.
They're starting to call football after music.
I saw your passport. I saw a 50 in there somewhere.
It was taken at a tough time in my life, don't worry.
Stacey Jones to convert, or looking to convert, Jake Webster's first try in Test football. Here goes Jones. He is the national hero, but unsuccessful as Fitzgibbon was with his first kick. So 4-all here on Channel 9, second match in the Gillette Tri-Nation Series. Lockyer the first try, Webster the swift reply.
They got their game faces on tonight, Australia. There's no doubt about it. Last week was a little bit of a look at the bewilderment, and the players themselves have said they were a bit rusty. A few of them had plenty of time off. A lot of these players didn't take part in the finals, but they've got their game faces on tonight, and in these conditions, you need them. This is just going to be hard work for both teams.
Andrew Johns with his kick-off into the breeze. It's going to come down short of the goal line. Rahihi's got his hand up to run. Back he comes. And he put a spin on when he got to Sivanasiva, still able to offload, albeit a little riskily. And Anderson with the ball held by Sivanasiva, 20 metres out from the New Zealand goal line. 4-all score line. Ruben Wiki has started the game well. The front row confrontation, one of the highlights thus far.
This referee's got Australia back 14 metres on that play. He is a long way back. Look at this again. That 10 metres is a good 12 or 14 metres.
42 metres out from the Kiwis line. Rahihi takes his second run in this set. Put to ground there by Badiris and also Price. 49 metres out from the Kangaroos line. Modu Tony for Jones. He steadies and then kicks. Back to the side of the ground of Matt King. Getting back there is Minicello. Late call for King to take it. King's with it. Surrounded by Kiwi jumpers. They pick him up. They drive in. Long drop out New Zealand. They came from everywhere. The call for the cavalry. And they get there quick.
Well, they might be able to do the fancy stuff, but they're also prepared to put in the hard work. If you want to create opportunities for yourself, you've got to get the little things right. Kick chase is one of those. They were down there like a brick wall. Great tackle, forcing King back into the in goal, presenting themselves with another attacking opportunity.
What sort of footy you call that, Ben? Reggae football with the ball, what's that?
Oh, that's the drums, that's the beat.
That's a bit of heavy metal grunt, I think, there from New Zealand. Their defence, they've come up with the ball from the line dropout. They're 22 metres out from the line. Kidwell left there by Kennedy. Australian defence still very, very good at the moment. Fatawira, Jones, Rahihi running there at Badiris. He was almost airborne when he got hold of the Kiwi front rower there. Stacey Jones, 10 metres out, tries to weave back in field for Vunganart. It's a combination you wish you could see more of in Test Rugby League, Jones and Vunganart. This, though, we're told is going to be the last night. Webb away for Solomona, flicks it up, Vanavoy puts it down. And Australia come up with the ball 8 metres out from their own line. Untidy play the ball there by Gazdia. And the Australians out of trouble for the moment. King thrown to ground in the tackle of Harpy. And now Gazdia, that trademark dummy half run. His ankles were taken that time by Harpy. And with it is Sivanasiva. He's on the 30-metre line, but he was running across field. O'Neilly's ready to come into the action.
Yeah, you've got to run straight in these conditions. You run across field, they'll belt you.
Pass to O'Donnell. Everyone bar the referee and 2 touch judges thought it was forward, I think. Here at Ericsson Stadium, Steve Price almost back to halfway now. On tackle number 5, O'Mealy's on. Sivanasiva's the player to the bench. Andrew Johns kicking from halfway. Webb is across there. Vadavai this time got a hold of the ball. Made one fatal error last week that led to a Matt King try after half-time. He retains his spot this week, despite the fact that players like Leslie Vanacola are now available. Ball has come loose in the tackle, and penalty for stripping the ball.
Don't get off the peeling. Leave it to me.
It's a big advantage to have big wingers in conditions like this. They're going to have to come in and help the forwards. Vadavai and Webster for New Zealand. Tate and King for Australia will be called upon to do plenty of work coming off their own line.
Marutoni with a free kick 40 metres out from their own line. And they were ready to come up quickly. Badeiros cut off the play on the outside. Jones met there by Fitzgibbon. For the Kiwis, they continue. They are ready to rumble. Azatazi now out there. Getting ready to come on is Jason Riles. The depth of the props on the bench is really highlighted here tonight. High quality stuff. Louis Anderson tackle. 39 metres out from the line. Friday night on Channel 9, we're coming to you from Ericsson Stadium. Second game of the Tri-Nation Series. New Zealand winners by 10 last Saturday night. And 4-all scoreline here through the first quarter. Loose pass there. Jones gets to it, but it travelled forward. It was from Azatazi. We will break on Channel 9 on this Friday night. Test Rugby League, it's 4-all.
Hold. Dave, lock in. David Kidwell staying.
Welcome back to Ericsson. On Channel 9, a 4-all scoreline. New Zealand and Australia. The Aussies open the scoring with Darren Lockyer. And the reply came from Jake Webster. Some heavy defence. And then Ruben Wiki just stands over Andrew Johns, who is hurt. And there's not too many friends of the Kangaroos here tonight. The cheers that go up from the Kiwi crowd as Johns limps out of the action. Here is O'Mealy with his first touch. 5 short of the line. Made his debut on last year's Tri-Nation Series. Now Kennedy stepping into the defender there. Azatazi kept alive. Nice play. Australia promoting something on the left-hand side. Scooped up there by Badeiros. And finished off by Vangana and Wiki on halfway. Johns easing himself back in now. And the kick from Lockyer came off the back. It may have been off the back of Anderson. Australia get another kick in through Andrew Johns. Vadavai's back for it. Vadavai 12 metres out from his own line. This is the player, christened the Beast by the former Warriors coach, Tony Kemp.
This wind has got stronger, Vossi. Australia's kicking game is really under pressure here. They've just got to hang in there. They'll have this breeze at their back in the second half.
15 metres short of halfway. Solomona still out there. Ruben Wiki now going to the bench for New Zealand. The Fida Paliasina comes on debut. He's a crowd favourite here. He's playing his last game at Ericsson tonight. Having left the Warriors. Stand by to see the number 16 in the action. Here he is, Fida Paliasina. Almost bowled straight over the top of Danny Badeiros. Stacey Jones kicking from 32 metres out. This time King's made a call for it. King has lost the ball. It's dived on there by Minicello. 12 metres out from the line. New Zealand have come up with it. New Zealand have got the ball 10 metres out. Paliasina. He makes the charge at the line with a little bit of help from Vangana. Craig Bellamy still in goal behind the Australian defence. That's an illegal play. Back it comes for Jones. Ball has been knocked down. Back for it goes Webb. And cleaned up there by Kennedy. 20 metres out from the Australian line at 4-all. To the right-hand side they go. The Bulldog, Roy Azatazi, in possession. Coming up against his teammate, Mark O'Mealy, tonight. Dummy half is Fatawira. Stacey Jones. Flat pass there for Anderson. He was almost through the hole, but what a tackle from O'Donnell.
Outstanding tackle by O'Donnell.
Cruncherama, that one from Luke O'Donnell. Here's Stacey Jones, a ricochet off the legs. Kick back there by Price. That was nifty work back for Lockyer.
I'll tell you what, that's a handy little play by Stephen Price. 2 metres out from his goal line, kicking a ball back to a fellow player, getting him out of trouble. The Aussies are going to have to fight hard to get back into the game here.
Fitzgibbon with the ball, he meets the treatment. Paliasina, Tony, another drive, the goalpost gets in the way. They still get him back to the goal line. They're coming up with the high fives. It's going to be a line dropout. This is incredible defence.
Oh, they're just zeroing in numbers. In these conditions, as I said before the start of the game, you've got to run hard and straight and get to the ground. Fitzgibbon runs hard and straight, but he stays tall. And the Kiwis just driving back into the end goal. The referee couldn't believe it. He took 2 looks. They said, sir, we've driven him right back in there. It's our ball.
Solomon out of the bench for New Zealand. Line drop out into this breeze, only 35 metres. Kidwell with it. And Kidwell well tackled by Kennedy. His defence tonight has been outstanding for the Kangaroos. But they are really under the pump here, feeling the squeeze. 25 metres out from the line. Ball went around the back of Pulatua. That took the edge off it. Shontaine Harpy with the ball. 31 metres out from the Kangaroos line. I reckon the coach Wayne Bennett he would be delirious with the Australian defence right at the moment. It's an outstanding effort defending their own goal line against some very big boys out there in this New Zealand forward pack. Modu Tony, dummy half, 15 metres out. Paliasina with another run. He's fired up. And Badera's just put his body on the line and made the tackle with O'Mealy and Fitzgibbon. Out for Jones, 10 out. With it is Webb, and Webb throws the pass. Vangana for the corner. Nigel Vangana slides in. This time off to the video referee. But if body language tells you anything, Vangana reckons he's scored for sure and certain.
Well, he's a renowned try scorer. Things have been a little bit dry at the Cronulla Sharks over the last couple of years, but he still knows his way to the try line. He had very little room in which to work. The greasy conditions make it all the more difficult. He's got to fend off defenders coming at him from the inside and get the ball to the ground. Let's have a look at it now over in the corner. Good work by Webb. Hits Vangana, bobbing up on the outside. Well, we're going to have a few looks at this. He's a long way out of the field to play. I can't believe. If he's got down, he's a miracle man. He's a miracle man. He's a miracle man.
He's a miracle man.
He's done that. This is a period as we see him ground the ball here. Yes, I think he's in. He hasn't touched the corner post. The changeover of the big fellas for the Kiwi sides, Rahihi and Wiki, is where they tend to drop out. But the Kiwis seem to have lifted. They've taken their level of enthusiasm, passion, up another gear. They're still keen to score points. They're throwing the ball around. They're in this together. They're here to win it tonight.
This is a miracle play by Vangana. Absolute miracle. Look at the defence. Think about the conditions. Think about the wet, greasy ball. And with one hand on the football, is able to plant it down, and he's firing up his teammates. He said, we'll get a green light.
Oh yeah, they sure do. His 17th test try. Nigel Vangana, who has scored 122 tries in his first grade career, has got the Kiwi second here tonight. And those of you watching back home, as we've been telling you, our pictures coming courtesy of Sky Sports New Zealand, this is the Lions' Den tonight that Australia have walked into.
Is it just me? There seems to be a tad more control to what the Kiwis have got in their attack here tonight. It seems to be more structured. They're getting to a position on the field, having a shot at the Aussies where it seems they're weak.
Well, that comes from confidence, Ben. They went into last week's game as rank outsiders. They went in under strength. They come up with a stunning win. There's no doubt that confidence has filtered onto the training paddock. From the training paddock here to Ericsson Stadium in front of their own fans. Well-constructed try, good combination between Jones and Webb, and Vangana. It took a try scorer to score that. A lesser man, a lesser player would not have got that ball to the line. Stacey Jones from wide out, the wind howling down the ground.
21 metres out, second one from the touchline for Stacey Jones. This one wide of the post. We'll break here from Ericsson Stadium on Channel 9. It's 8 points to 4 to the Kiwis. Vangana, the black eye, a result of last week's game. Back with the action here at Ericsson Stadium. On Channel 9, an 8-4 scoreline to New Zealand after Australia came up with the first try. This time the Kiwis from the kick-off off the legs of Kennedy. Cooper's offside. New Zealand go back for the ball. O'Neilly took a lunge at it.
Just have a look there what's happened.
But I'm sure once it came off the legs of Kennedy, Matt Cooper,
offside and ground.
I would think he was 3 or 4 metres offside.
Now, this is what the referee's looking at. I think there's an infringement earlier on by New Zealand in trying to get the ball back into the field of play. Good low kick there by Johns. Takes a right-hand turn, a leg break towards the sideline. Well, no, he's throwing that ball backwards. Now comes off Kennedy. Cooper's offside. Now, it's going to be a penalty in New Zealand. They'll dodge a bullet here. Cooper wasn't aware he was offside. He didn't know how the ball got that way. That hasn't gone out. Off Kennedy's legs. Cooper in front of him within 10 metres. Penalty New Zealand. They dodge a bullet.
Well, while we're showing you these replays from Sky Sports here in New Zealand went to take a line dropout before the decision had even been passed on. Kennedy did not run Cooper onside.
No, he didn't. The New Zealanders haven't been watching the big screen. The referee's saying, I think you're going to get a better result here. Just hold on.
Penalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here we go. Penalty to the Kiwis.
Yeah, you got to watch the big screen.
Well, we're still waiting for the decision pending.
You don't want to be rushing into them things.
Now, look, don't panic, Australian fans back there, I can tell you, because this wind is howling down behind the Kiwis. You can only think that Lockyer and Johns will take full advantage of that in the second half. Australia's just got to hang on here. Any points they score in the first 40 minutes is a real bonus.
11.5 minutes remaining in this first half. 8 points to 4, 2 tries to 1. Hard night for the goal kickers, and all 3 have been from the sideline, the conversion attempts so far tonight. New Zealand 31 metres out from their own line. Monutoni's done well so far tonight, coming into the side for Lance O'Hire, tackled there by Badiris. Coming straight out of the English season. And now 45 metres away from the Australian line. Vangana will play it after the tackle of Jason Riles. Tony away. This is Anderson. Ran it Badiris. He was very deep and not square at second marker.
Well, that's 4 tackles in a row Badiris has had to make. Look at him. He can hardly get up on the 5th time.
High ball from Jones. Minicello underneath it. 5 metres out from the line. He's lost the ball. Picked up there by Gazdia. Gazdia with it. He was offside. Penalty to New Zealand. 5 metres out. 5 metres to the side of the uprights. Lockyer saying there was interference on Minicello. What do you think, Ben?
What to do? Look, it's either or here, but for Stacey Jones, the decision, take the 2. So what they're going to do? Geez, the momentum's going with the Kiwis there. Would have been half inclined to keep it attacking the line.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Ben, on a night like this, I don't think the goal kickers are going to have a lot of success. We've already seen 3 kicks from wide out. I don't think there was interference there. I thought it was just a fair play. Gazdia knew he was offside. But I think if you can get a kick in front of the post at any time, you would take the points. I think conversion kicks are going to be very, very difficult from anywhere wide out tonight. We've seen 3 missed already. Jones is looking up thinking, gee, 6 points in these conditions at home. Crowd behind us. I can understand the strategy here.
Let the record show, I reckon Vangana was interference. He jumped at nothing. He wasn't going at the ball.
I saw you looking at me.
He came nowhere near it.
I saw you looking at me.
Here's Jones's kick, 15 metres out. And it's a 6-point margin. 10 points to 4 to New Zealand. After Australia led by 4 points to 0. The crowd in here tonight at Ericsson Stadium. They're sitting out in the rain. They're singing in the rain at the moment. Trent Barrett is out there for the first time tonight.
Let's try and have a look and see what position he's playing. That's Johns kicking off. Lockyer's still out there, so Barrett's on the field.
Pretty sure he's gone on for Badiris. He'll slot into hooker. And now the ball is with Azatazi and New Zealand 19 metres out from their own line. And the big men will come into play. Kidwell bounced away there from O'Neilly, held in the tackle of O'Donnell. 29 metres away from the Kiwi line. Up to Paliasina, that's better. Getting up to meet him, Trent Barrett was first in. Just took a rush off the play before Paliasina could really get up the full head of steam. This is Pulatua, seriously injured back in round 5 this year for the Panthers, the torn pectoral muscle. and only made his comeback to football last week in the curtain raiser. 27 weeks off, I think the total was.
Hell of a game to come back in.
42 metres from the line. And with it is Webb off the left foot, back to centre field. Not such a bad kick. Across there is Brent Tate. He's with it 10 metres out from his own line. Jones first man up there, and here goes the push again. Led that time by Kidwell and Fatawira. The Australians in possession. Matt Cooper. They're beating those drums at Ericsson Stadium. It normally means that the home team's on top. Matt King's come all the way in from the right wing to take a run. Here he is, big Matt King. Runs into the shoulder there of Palliasina and Anderson.
That's better. Some dummy half running, a little bit of decoy running, coming out of trouble. Don't get gang tackled that way. Bad pass.
Ooh, terrible pass and a cross picked up there by Lockyer. And in fact, Steve Ganson, referee, has got the Kiwis offside. Johns wants a quick restart and kicking for line, and he might even find it. It's on to deck. Back goes Vadavai. Oh, Andrew Johns, that is a shocker.
He's going to get a penalty. He's going to get a penalty here for interference by a Kiwi player. Might have been Brent Webb. It was a rush kick from Andrew Johns. Now he's looking to take a quick tap. We'll stay with the action, Bossy.
Wind absolutely howling right now into the faces of the Australian players as Riles takes a hit up. 12 metres out from the line. Big opportunity here for the Kangaroos. Barrett is the dummy half now. Passing across for Lockyer. On it goes for Minicello. Back inside it comes for the captain. The Australian side just 5 metres away from the line. Tate will play it. After the tackle by Kidwell, Fitzgibbon tries to go his own way and is held 3 metres out from the line. Trent Barrett there with it as Johns flicks to a flat-footed Jason Riles and held in the tackle of Anderson and also Palliasina. Still 5 metres out. Goal line defence this time from the Kiwis. Barrett tries to roll his way over and held in the tackle of Azatazi. The Australians right on the line. Back for Andrew Johns. The kick looking for Matt King. Up goes King. Vadavai got a hand on it. O'Donnell's there with the ball. Tackle count restarts. Another 6 tackles for the Australians. 5 out from the line. This is Matt King. And a 10-4 scoreline inside the final 6 minutes of this first half. In their second game of the Tri-Nations series from Auckland tonight. Lockyer, 10 metres out, overlap. Minicello, and it comes. Great work. Cooper on debut. Has got a try in the green and gold. Matt Cooper scores the try. And very slick work by the Australians.
Yeah, great passing. Everyone does their job here. Dummy half, bullet-like pass out to Andrew Johns. On to Lockyer. Good use of the decoy play. And Minicello will bring in the outside defence. Here's the error. You'll see Andrew Johns in the back play taken out there by Webster as he tried to come through and get Vadavai. That was the reason for the penalty. And on this play, long pass to Johns, long pass to Lockyer, good use of the decoy play, and Minicello will just suck them in and give Cooper a free run to the line. Good depth, good decoy, good ball movement, good try.
It was a great shift. The Australians have to really have to go back and grow from this, because there's obviously a couple of mistakes there. The penalty on the kick from Johns, and of course Vadavai batting it back forward, giving the Aussies another set of 6. They've got the try almost by default, but they've got it. They're back in the game. They need to use this to their advantage and really start to come home from here.
And it's another sideline conversion coming up. And again it is with Craig Fitzgibbon. As we mentioned earlier, 1 from 4 last week, and Andrew Johns stepped up, kicking 1 from 2.
He'll have to fire this out of a cannon. That breeze is really strong.
So here goes Fitzgibbon. Out of the cannon, out of the cannon. It's on target, but it's going to come up short. And we are left with a 10-8 scoreline. 2 tries all. It was 16 all last time they played in Auckland. That was at North Harbour last year. Last weekend at half-time, it was 18 all. This the penalty again. Interference. Shontaine Harpy there. And the referee, Steve Ganson, not impressing the home fans. So 10 points to 8. Now inside the final 4 of this first half. It's been compelling viewing. A real test match. O'Mealy with the ball, and O'Mealy taken off his feet. And the tackle of Anderson. And he's probably the smallest of the New Zealand forwards, and he's no shrinking violet, but geez, been good, Louis Anderson, the lock forward. Made it real tough tonight. Kennedy with the ball for the Australians. And now 39 metres out from their own line. They will have the benefit of the breeze in the second half. Barrett, the hooker tonight, Frank Barrett. Tackled 45 metres from the Kiwis goal line. Australians starting to look good as they did before half-time last week. Piled on 4 tries, in fact, in the space of 9 minutes. That kick goes dead.
Good play again by Johns. He couldn't get it to pull up, but they're in good position here, the Australians. This has been a very, very willing first half played in difficult conditions. They will have the gale at their backs in the second half, and even though they're a couple behind on the scoreboard, you would have to think the green and golds are a little better placed. That man, Andrew Johns, will just be thinking about getting that breeze at his back.
Aliasina with the ball, dumping it back there for Modu Tony. And Bennett kept one fresh troop up his sleeve in his first half. Trent Waterhouse hasn't seen any action in the game. Kiwis using Azatazi and Paliasina and Pulatua. David Fayumu yet to get a taste of the play. That's because Modu Tony's just going so well. Paliasina dropped the ball there, but it's gone backwards, and Webb explodes through the gap. Back for Vangana. He was chased all the way. Good cover defence from Kennedy. Now Jones, 10 metres out from the line, inside for Kidwell. Kidwell offloads. Tony goes for the line and scores. Modu Tony scores the Kiwis' third try, and the crowd goes crazy at Ericsson.
They've done this a couple of times, the Kiwis. The play looks to be dead, and they're willing to flop it out the back and hope that the second phase play disorganises the Australians' defence. It produced the first try, and this one here, thrown out the back by Paliasina, picked up by Webb. Australia asleep. He will pick up Vangana, and Vangana takes it deep into territory. Now, the Australians never really get reset. Jones goes across field. He'll lay it back on the inside for Kidwell, onto Tony, and Tony, just with aggressive running, gets his way into the in goal. Well finished off, but the second phase play of the Kiwis does cause Australia a little bit of trouble around the middle of the ruck.
I'm not going to take anything away from the Kiwis here, but at the moment the Aussies just don't seem to be able to be building pressure, neither an attack and then back it up on a kick chase with some good defence. They were split open again by some of that reggae football that we've spoken about. The ball was flopped out the back. They took advantage of it. 50 metres downfield, they've got a try.
This crowd so pumped up. Kiwis, the players are happy to go to half-time. Ruben Wiki on the bench, but I think the crowd just want the battle to continue. No break, just keep it going.
How good is it? How good is it? I still think the Australians are well placed. Kiwis are playing well, but this has been a tough first half for the Australians.
Final seconds of the first half, and Stacey Jones to give his team an 8-point advantage. They've scored 3 tries to 2. It is 16 points to 8. Brian McLennan on screen, the coach. He can't believe it. How good's this? He should retire if they win tonight. 2 from 2. And that is half-time. We'll break on Channel 9 after the break. Ken Sutcliffe, Peter Sterling to look back on the first half. 16 points to 8. The Kiwis leading the Kangaroos on Channel 9.
Right after this.
16 points to 8. The Kiwis lead the Kangaroos in Game 2 of the Gillette Tri-Nation Series here at Ericsson Stadium. It has all been going right for Nigel Vagana and these Kiwis as they try and put the Kangaroos to the sword. Hard to believe that they had the majority of the possession, Pete, and are in front.
well, and they're doing everything that they've been training to do exceptionally well. You know, when you talk about being able to restrict the meters being gained by the Kangaroos, the ability to keep them inside, to force them back, the ability to come out of your own danger territory, they've done exceptionally well in those departments.
The funny thing was, though, Australia scored first on the back of a whole lot of Kiwi possession. Darren Lockyer going in first, and I actually thought this was a forward pass. No, you can't rule on the forward pass speed, but this was the first true time they got down, and they scored. That's always the danger.
And they got down, and what they were quite emphatic about pre-game was about the ability to be able to kick in the right end of the football field, to play good field position. This came up with Steve Price carry, the ability to offload, got Johns in the right end of the park, and then be able to put it in the air. Anyone putting in the air becomes awfully difficult to be able to match.
The most important thing here, though, was the response by the Kiwis. That was in the 12th minute. 15 minutes later, the little mouse trap, and then they'll switch the play. Stacey Jones will come back, and Jake Webster will score his first try for the Kiwis. Just some great vision. Runs, gets down low, and they're equal again.
And what we talk about is the ability to capitalise on errors. This error coming from the kickoff, Stephen Price electing not to play the ball, goes into touch, the Kiwis get it back, finds Webster.
Now we get the Kiwi black ball, as David Kiddle quite rightly calls it, forcing another dropout with forcing Fitzgibbon back in, and the response, a try to Nigel Voginer.
Yeah, and I can't say it enough. You know, we reinforce the game of chess, and one's about taking your opportunities. When you're given half, you're able to convert it and put it into points. So far, they're going toe-to-toe.
That is something that is just quite amazing. This Kiwi side really digging in and giving as good as they are getting. But then here come Australia on the back of what you would say was a terrible penalty from Steve Ganson from Andrew Johns, Hollywood. But this was again slick and to the point.
Well, given that, you know, we talk about opportunities, they can execute. Right now, the Kangaroos, when you allow them in, they get down to that 20 metre, and certainly their ability to be able to come up with the right result, you can't question. Get nervous when they come down. You're entitled to feel nervous.
35th minute, 9th minute, and Brent Webb sees the ball pop out, and away they go. Nigel Voginer, two of the lead players in game one at Telstra, and this will finish up with a Mofu Tony try.
What's most pleasing here, the go-to player, you've got Nigel Voginer out of the play. Webby comes in, he takes charge, he gets in out the acting half, then you find Nigel Voginer, the guy that should have been in the acting half right at the outset, Mofu Tony, he finishes the play.
So that is how it all shakes down at half-time. 16 points to 8. The Kiwis in front. 58% possession, and plays 42. The amazing thing is, I always use this as a caution, Pete. The Kiwis had so much possession in that last quarter, but the Australians still scored the try.
They still scored when you allowed...
first attempt down that.
And where the Australians are perhaps a little different from what we saw 6 days ago was the ability to be able to capitalise on the errors that are being presented to them. But New Zealand has been outstanding for 20 minutes, and they've been in the game. They came back in. There was a passage of play where they dropped out for momentary lapse. We saw something that was a little comical down in the corner. But they have been strong, and they've been strong for 40.
All right, the Kiwis sitting down, taking time, thinking about what is about to unfold in the second 40. This crowd is not going anywhere. In game 2 of the Tri-Nations, the Kiwis lead the Kangaroos 16-8. Do not go far. We are back with more.
Welcome back to Ericsson Stadium, where the Kiwis are halfway there. They lead 16 points to 8. No sign of the biff tonight. Perhaps if we see that lead blowing out, you might see these Australians start to bristle up, Darryl, in the second stanza.
Well, New Zealand's played a very good half of football, and Australia hasn't been that far behind them. 89% completion rate from Australia is very good, and just under the 80 for New Zealand. Their kicking game hasn't been great, or all that great, should I say, not all that long, New Zealand. So they'll be into the breeze in the second half. That's an area they certainly can improve on. Their defence, however, around the middle of the ruck has been outstanding. Not only have they stopped the Australians' momentum, but they've then suspended it and driven them backwards on a number of occasions. And plenty more of that in the second half. We'll see them go a long way to achieve their goal.
If you joined us late in the telecast, there was the team on screen that actually took the lead early on. Darren Lockyer with the opening try. But after that, the Kiwis clawing their way back into this one. And as a result, they have an 8-point buffer at the split. Kangaroos finding themselves in a very unfamiliar position here. Minicello, by his high standards of rather subdued performance, only a couple of runs tonight. He made plenty, of course, in a free-flowing affair last weekend at Telstra.
But you've got to recognise in that one, Costo, the kicking game, the offensive defence being deployed by the Kiwis. very, very effective in restricting the amount of metres at the likes of Minichella, and also their kicking game, putting it into space, putting it in between, not allowing him an easy kick return.
Tony, and I'm sure all our English viewers would fondly remember that try he scored in the Challenge Cup final for Hull. In the side tonight, as we say, in the absence of Darren, or rather Lance O'Hire, and Brent Webb. What a try he put on last week.
Dave Kidwell, a fine performer as well. I might say this crowd has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a long time since I've seen a New Zealand crowd support as well as they have.
We are back underway. Second 40 is underway, and New Zealand with first use of the ball in this second stanza.
Costo, just a quick update. Steve Price has an old knee injury that's flared up. He will play through. Joey Johns does have a cork where he got injured, but will play on. I'll check on the Kiwis in just a moment.
Thank you for that update. And I saw Ivan Cleary, John Ackland and Kevin Campion. They are here tonight on the western side of the ground. That would not be music to their ears in relation to Stephen Price. And the same goes for Wayne Bennett. The Kiwis, a couple of metres short of halfway. Paliasina with the play of the ball. Kidwell, he hits it up.
Costo, I've got Graham Norton here. Graham, quickly, what was the word, mate?
Okay, keep the bullies going, which is that drive and the tackle. We keep doing that. In this 40 minutes, this is going to be the greatest Kiwi team ever.
How's your heart rate?
It's adrenaline.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
I hope he's a prophet. Big call. Plenty of clock left in this one.
Well, he's prone to many know Graham Norton has been one that looks for the stars to figure out what's going on, not only relying on the teacup. Plenty up there to look at sometimes.
I just caught eye of Steve Price and asked him about his knee. He just gave me a quiet nod and a smile, says, it'll be okay.
Kangaroos would certainly hope so as they get it back to halfway. Almost 2 minutes gone in the second stanza. Kedwell's a mile offside on the last as they drill it to the sideline. Nothing fancy from the green and golds.
Nothing fancy from them, but we see there Andrew Johns drifting across the park and bringing Fitzgibbon back on the inside. Will that be the play and the damaging play in the second half? Changing angles on a wet ground can be very, very decisive.
Okay. Okay, let me go. Hold. Go.
Jones hands it on straight away to Paul Fatawira.
First, Bakiyama.
Wainui Amata. Product. Pulatua, he's back down. So the Kiwis using their big men to get it back to halfway. One out start from the NZers.
Yeah, there's a real sense of West Tigers about their approach to the game at the moment. We saw in the first 40 with Paul Fatawira just grabbing along the face of the defensive line, not unlike Benji Marshall. And now just coming out of the acting half, safe, playing for good field position. Now look for a kick.
And that kick is provided by Jones. It finds open pasture and a kind bounce for Minicello, and just as well.
And that's why he's not getting the meters tonight. Very little afforded to the guy up the back.
Tate. Around the bootlaces. Paul Fatawira. Cooper. Crosses the 20. Aliasina working overtime in defence as Jason Riles thunders upfield, provides a pass there. Nice ball it was for Cooper, but they were sweating on him. Dragon to dragon. Now O'Mealy, the Shrek. There's the offload. Barrett, Lockyer. This is much better from the Kangaroos. Here's trouble. Gasnier. Gasnier will back himself and score. Mark Gasnier. Touchdown for the Kangaroos, you'd have to think. And there are smiles on the Australian bench.
When they get some possession, this is what they try and do, Australia. They'll check the grounding on this for sure. but they try and get Gasnier 2-on-2. This is a finish of it. Webb goes high, and just where does he put the ball down? Oh, look, no problem. Does well. On his back, reaches out with the right mitt, puts it down. Not even close to being in touch. The ball then rolls back into the field of play. But the ability of Gasnier back up the play some 50 metres when he put the footwork on Harpe was brilliant.
Well, when you go to your outside game, there's no doubt in the class that they possess. Along with Coop on the other side, Gasnier is the one who creates play on his own. More often not being able to do things without requiring the inside, and as expected, coming up with a 4 point. He doesn't require the likes of Lockyer and Co to create play for him. Gasnier creates play on his own. Good feet, good speed, and good physical presence up top to be able to disload whoever comes their way.
O'Mealy keeps the ball alive. You watch Barrett just wrap around there. He hits some spins and gets a good left-hander away, and they shift it wide. Lockyer, he knows he's outside. Catch and pass. Look at him. Stands him up. Puts Harpe on his heel. Batterby turns and chases, but the damage is done by there, and he's a big guy. Webb does well. Remember, he stopped the try last week. Couldn't quite do it this one.
You talk about Shontaine Harpe coming to this match, and he could be the unknown because the Australians don't know too much about him. Likewise, also a place for Shontaine Harpe, not having had a couple of seasons up against the likes of Gasnier, not quite understanding the speed, the deception that he has. Just gives him a little too much.
Here's the kick, and it's waved away. He had troubles last week, and at the moment, Gasnier's try has the Kangaroos 4 points in arrears.
Concentration, boys. Half them up, come on.
Cold and damp night here in Auckland. The Kangaroos are certainly back in this one.
Never out of it at the moment, Costo.
Well, now they're within striking range. More to the point, and they certainly know it.
Because when you talk about striking range, you talk about players that are about or yet to stamp their mark and to dominate. And in particular, I'm referring to Barrett, to Lockyer and Johns.
Speaking of Barrett, he's a dummy half here for the green and golds. And there's Johns. O'Donnell, he keeps it going. Minicello probing for a hole, and look at the leg drive. The one-time gymnast before he made a career out of rugby league. Kennedy surging upfield.
So much deja vu in this match. What we saw last week in the opening quarter and the second, this time last week, they were unable to take advantage of those opportunities. So far, they're starting to unlock.
Darren Lockyer will score. See you later, New Zealand. Darren Lockyer gets his second try of the night. The Kangaroo captain has delivered, and in a moment, Australia will be back in front.
I was just about to say Australia have gone up a gear. You saw it in their runs. It was Riles, O'Mealy, and they're making big yards. And then this man Barrett around the middle of the ruck, playing at half-back, or should I say dummy half, comes up, a nice ball inside, and Darren Lockyer puts on the gas and makes the Kiwis look second-rate on that occasion.
Well, what's making them look second-rate is a defensive line that started to find itself a little bit disarray. Not maintaining their line going forward, allowing themselves to be drawn in.
There's the conversion from Craig Fitzgibbon. Lockyer gets the 4-pointer. And Australia back in front. They lead by 2.
And we just had moments there with the Kiwi side with the conversion being taken place. They got into a huddle, and just a timely reminder that let's get back to doing what we do best. But Lockyer just easily unlocking that defensive line. It was in all sorts of disarray.
Change being affected here for New Zealand. David Fayumu is the fresh man for New Zealand.
And expect Ruben Wiki not to be too long after it. This is exactly how it was played out last week. Someone needs to get back in the middle to straighten it up.
Motu Tony sends us into the next passage of play. Mark O'Mealy carts it back upfield. Just beyond the 20-metre line. Riles. Barrett hands it on to his former Dragons teammate, Craig Fitzgibbon. 10 short of halfway, the Kangaroos. The world champions. They haven't lost back-to-back test matches since 1978. That was in France, and of course many moons ago. Tonight, they are being tested yet again.
Interesting, DJ, that when you get the two Kangaroo subs in the form of Bailey and O'Mealy.
Trouble brewing for New Zealand, and Cooper, he will help himself to a double, and the pendulum has swung back to the Kangaroos. Cooper grabs 4 points, and the lead is out to a converted try with a kick to come. 22 plays 16.
Full of confidence, the Australians now. As we see Lockyer score a minute ago, and now they come down the left-hand side. This is on the last play, remember, and it's catch and pass, and it's all too easy. Webster caught too far infield when he needed to be up and closer up into the line, pushing in, but Darren Lockyer, knowing that there's numbers outside, and it's catch and pass, there's nothing too flash about it. Barrett moves it as well, and right there, Webster got caught in two minds, needed to be on top of Cooper, but was too far inside him. He's a big man, plenty of space, and with the player outside, an easy dummy, and go yourself.
The forward rotation that I was referring to is the form of Riles and O'Mealy, far more effective in being able to hit the line, find the second base play, the offload. The defensive line of the Kiwis, as a consequence, is starting to get a little disrupted, starting to find itself not communicating, not shifting. That instance, Webster being caught in, they're hitting it up, caught on the inside, not shifting across. The damage is done when they go to their outside game because they've got speed, they've got class.
And the damage has been done in quick time. Craig Fitzgibbon, this time he gets it right. A much tougher kick than the previous shot, and they lead by 8 points with half an hour to go.
Just like the end of the first half last week, it happened to the beginning of the second half this week. Double change, Louis Anderson and Paliasina off for the Kiwis. They have got to get themselves out of first gear because right now the Kangaroos are in fifth and they are cruising.
Montu Tony once more gets us back underway. So all of a sudden, New Zealand find themselves under pressure. 3 quick tries in the space of just 10 minutes has turned this match on its head. O'Donnell, who turns 25 tomorrow, he goes to ground, 30 out from his own line. Riles hits it up, 10 short of halfway. Andrew Johns with the kick. Brent Webb with the kick return. Some work to do here for the big men at the back, particularly the biggest man at the back, Vatuva. Failing to make a dent. The crowd calling for offside play against Johns.
Well, he never marked up at the mark of ball, or play the ball, should I say. And the crowd were right.
And again, Ganson has a different view. Webster crosses halfway. A winger that started his career with the Valleys Club in Brisbane. Club, of course, made famous by the great Wally Lewis. On the last, they make a meal of it.
And it's the little things we talk about, getting to your sets and being able to finish on a high note. Just overreading the play there, starting to get a little anxious. It's starting to allow the pressure. And in particular, the scoreboard is perhaps just starting to linger in your mind. Having a little peeky-boo.
Jason Riles slips the pass to Minichai, but it goes to ground. New Zealand come away with it. So a turnover very early in that tackle count. Paul Fatawira, he goes to ground. Crowd riding the back of the referee. Bayumu, he goes for a scamper. Wiki. Put away by Sivanasiva with the help of Craig Fitzgibbon. Rahihi, Azatazi slips the pass to his wingman, who's come up with a knock-on or perhaps a forward pass. It doesn't really matter. We will have a scrum.
Interesting call here. They had him out by 2. Azatazi done just enough damage. Look, he holds Cooper up right there. And if the ball had been a short one to Fatuera, it was 2-on-1. Narrow corridor, I know. Webster, acrobatic, not over yet. Flicks it out the back. The ref had blown the whistle, so not too sure what he called.
Tate, who, as we know, can score a try from long range.
Go.
O'Donnell.
Second.
And the Cowboy is rounded up by the Kiwi defence. Stephen Price, Lockyer, Gasnier. Here's the overlap. King with the kick. They're coming through. New Zealand have to rush back. Jones batted back. Webster's got it. And New Zealand, they can breathe easy, at least for a moment.
Yes, they can breathe easy, but right now the Kangaroos can sense blood in the water. The Great White was caught off the coast of Raglan, while they're sensing there's another one here tonight in the form of the green and golds, because they're starting to pick it up. The kick chase is becoming so much more positive. They're clear in what they're doing. Their outside game, the expansive game, starting to get it.
Ruben Wiki, the veteran, with some big meters. And there's the penalty they were looking for, and you can put it down to the Kiwi captain.
Great run by the veteran, as you called him, Ruben. He is just tough, uncompromising, and never gives up the fight. Off he goes, pushes King off, make a few extra meters, and getting up to play the ball. They get all too welcome penalties. Not too many penalties in this match, 4 all.
Pulatua. One half of the Hairbears. 10 out from the goal line. Faiumu looking to catch the defence napping. Has got a big left foot step. Watch out for that. Tony. Webb, that first receiver. Jones, the little general. Bangana! Bangana beats one! And goes to ground. The Aussies camped on their own goal line. Jones, Rahihi. Can he slip it out the back door? Not on this occasion. 2 tackles to play with. Jones. Webb. Webb! Still going. Stumbling towards the line. Taken by his opposite number, Minicello. Here's the last. Here's the kick. The ball bouncing back. Tony's got it. 6 to go is the call. So the Aussies, they have to muscle up yet again. More pressure coming up on the visitors. Harvey goes to ground. They need a try, New Zealand. They need it now. Jones. Rahihi. Flat ball. Play continues. Webb. Hitting the line at pace. As Atazi is shut down by Ben Kennedy. Cooper was there as well. Jones. It comes off Seven Seaver. And the Aussies have got it. Jones calling for a penalty for obstruction, and the plea falls on deaf ears.
And entitled to call for it as well, and clearly in the view of the sideline touch as well, but totally ignored. But great defence, Australia, well done. The ability to withstand the pressure. They got a repeat thrown at them. They had everything. Rauhihi, Asatasi, and they took it all.
Some big plays in defence from the #1 team in the world. And that goes touch in goal, and they'll come back to the 20-metre line for the tap restart. There's some high drama involving Stacey Jones.
Well, it was only tackle 4, but they had that much pressure on them. No one in behind. Stacey tries to put it through, and right here, you have a look at it. Yeah, Pricey just grabs him by the collar, gives him a whip back and says, "Where you going, boy? Come here." Well, not called for, and the ref absolutely misses it.
Changes are plenty on the sideline. Trent Waterhouse and Danny Vidaris about to come back on. David Solomona itching to get back on for the Kiwis.
Thank you, Stephen. Trent Waterhouse, of course, on the end of a shocking tackle last weekend. Nigel Vungana allowed to play in this one as Vidaris.
But in the context of the game, Costa, you're so right. The Kiwis so need to be the next to score. Otherwise, there'll be a real sense the Kangaroos are starting to kick on.
This is going to make the point. Vidaris, he is itching to get back out there. Is the Newcastle #9, Brent Webb. Solomona. There's the flick out the back door. But by Ayumu puts it down. The pass was coming, but the catch wasn't there.
A couple of offloads and then a couple of errors. We've put it down on the last play, and now we get another one out of Ayumu. These sort of things will help. The pressure on Australia was immense. The ball inside's a good one, and hasn't this guy got some skill? Solomona, the presence of three out the back, nice little touch. And Ayumu should have been awake for that.
Matt King.
Well, it is such a difference between being able to finish, get to your kick, find yourself defending on the 20-15. Here you are on the halfway. And under pressure.
Jason Riles, 12 metres, New Zealand side of halfway. Trent Barrett back to Seven Asiba, and big body contact at Ericsson. Johns, Lockyer, Kennedy, swapping defence on the Australian lock forward. Vangana all over him like a rash. Johns switches the point of the attack. Tate back on the infield is Cooper. Last tackle play coming up for Andrew Johns. Here's the crossfield kick. And that pass surely's been propelled forward. And it's been deemed that way by the man who counts.
Andrew Johns, so matter-of-fact down this end here. He sends it back on the short side. He just, without looking, just threw it back there. Found some hands and then went back to the open toe with a kick. And certainly tap forward. The Kiwis come back out.
We have 20 minutes to go into the final quarter of Game 2 of the Gillette Tri-Nations. Solomona hits it up. Chant goes up for the home side. Vadira still waiting to get back involved. Jones, Pulatilla. Darren Lockwood down low. Upstairs was Mark Gasnier. Rahihi, the battering ram. Out the back door she comes. Here's the second phase.
And if there's going to be an answer home, it's going to be in the form of that second phase play, the ability to look to offload and hopefully find the passes that stick as Johns finds touch.
Tony Pulattua off, David Kidwell back on.
Bringing the changes is Brian McLennan, his second test as national coach.
Shortcut, lads. Shortcut here.
There he is, the man I'm referring to.
Hold.
The man they call Bluey.
Hold. Okay, we go.
So the Aussies here now looking to work their way upfield. Matt King, Melbourne Storm winger, the man who at one stage was playing on the bench in second grade at Cronulla. Now, of course, an international. Andrew Johns is calling the shots as he always does, regardless of whether he has got the captaincy or not. That pass was forward. So they do force the mistake. Danny Badiris, he can't quite believe it.
Overplaying their hand here, Australia. Marginal at best, that one. But even up the ledger, they had a blatant one in the first half that wasn't pulled up in New Zealand. Well, they've absorbed some pressure, they've let some points in, and now they get their opportunity.
Webb. .30 out from the goal line. Fatuira. Put away by Stephen Price. Warriors captain. Ayumu hands it on to Azatazi. One of the better players for the Bulldogs in the NRL this season. 12 out from the goal line. Let's see what the Kiwis have got. Have they got the ammo? On this occasion, they're firing blanks. There's still 10 out.
Sure that ball was touched, he hasn't called it. Tackle 4.
Jones, cut out ball, Kedwell's got it. Kedwell looking to wreak havoc. In the corner, they score!
but you can expect that there'll be an absolute uproar on the other side of the Tasman right now. Everyone was expecting Ganson to go to the top, go to the video ref, but not to be. The try was on, he recognised it. It came to David Kidwell, and that is where it all started to come. He missed one, allowed to stand and offload. They had the numbers, and then an unmarked Webster.
What about the nice touch from Fatuera here? Kidwell does well, attracts the players, and you watch this, just there. Well, he hardly gets fingers to it, but it's hot potato, and that creates the try.
And that's where the big question mark came as to the tip on there from Fatuera to Webster. Was that in fact forward? But who knows and who cares now?
Well, what we do know, Jake Webster, 2 caps, 2 tries. He gets a double here tonight, and a crucial one at that, perhaps even controversial. I can't believe they did not check the tape. It's fish and chip paper now.
Well, I'm sure we'll read it with our fish and chips tomorrow, because it won't go unnoticed and it won't go unwritten.
Stacey Jones with a false start.
Crosso well though, Stacey realigns that ball. Louis Anderson is on and Masatasi off, and the Shrek is back for Australia. They need him.
He'll add some grunt. Jones will push it wide, well wide, never looked likely. So the Kiwis remain 4 points adrift. Australia 24, New Zealand 20.
Well, it was a nice finish, and I'm not too sure if it was forward or not, maybe marginal at best. But Kidwell, nice step, creates the damage, and then there, well, gone straight past his body. A nice finish for Webster, stayed deep and on the chalk, and that width allowed the creation inside for the try.
And the only issue, DJ, was entitled to go to the third ref just to have a look.
We have less than a quarter of an hour to go. Rahihi. He's got the fancy boots on all of a sudden. Look at me, he says.
Yes, and he's got the big stage as we come into the home straight with 14 to go. This is where it starts to rack up. This is where both sides are positioned. You couldn't ask for a better position as you come around the bend, locked up at 24-20.
Wiki by Umu, darting from dummy half. There's the flick, here's the second phase. The Kiwis, they're coming on.
And most impressive about their performance in game 1 was their finish, the ability to finish strong. And again, the signs are that they're going to do what is most important, and that's what you do after you score a try.
Here's the last. Here's the kick. Charge down. Jones couldn't quite clear the defence. It's 6 to go. And Webster does not panic. The 2-try winger for New Zealand. He takes the tackle. Fatuera. Fatuera. Looking to slice through.
Trademark of his play this season, Paul Fatuera, has been that run out of dummy half. Love punt on the right-hand side as Wiki charges it up and shoots to the left, gaining good ground.
Bayumu. Pass has gone to ground. The Kangaroos have got it. Just when something was building, it goes horribly wrong.
Something was building. David Faumu was doing exceptionally well. He's been teasing out of the acting half since his introduction into the game. And the game was on then with Paul Rauhi. Good position. All he needed to do was regather. Australia, they were under all sorts.
King from dummy half. Taken by Anderson. O'Donnell comes back for his next tour of duty.
Isn't he a good talented boy, David Faumu? We also saw the opportunity to see a Naiwi, another player, signed with the Bulldogs for next year.
Minicello's away. Minicello takes them on, and see you later, says the count. He got around Webster with consummate ease. He must have been on rocket fuel, this bloke. Minicello scores, and the Kangaroos kick clear.
That hurt. Great play from Australia. The ability of Ben Kennedy, who's been offloading it well this afternoon down this left-hand side, was paramount. Brett Stewart, as Manly Club fullback, knows to follow this man around the football field, and Minicello, well, he follows suits. This is some great work here earlier, and this has hurt them. They had an opportunity. New Zealand Faumu, beautiful work in around the ruck. It created all the stuff, and Rauhi, he puts it down, and then Kennedy, well, off he goes with the one-hander, just loves it, and then the slip from Webster. And Minicello, we said he had a quiet first half. Well, doesn't have to do too much. Things fall his way.
Tell you what, the side on replay would look rather interesting because that pass from Kennedy looked very adjacent.
Looked very adjacent, but when you've got speed and you get on the outside, you give someone just that little bit extra. The likes of Minicello and Webster, no race, no contest. But good to see the Kangaroos being able to take advantage of opportunities. How different the game could have been if Rauhihi would have taken the pass.
Andrew Johns, he spoiled the party for Stacey Jones on the club scene. And of course, some weeks ago, and prior to that, he scored 53 points on 3 consecutive visits to this venue. Well, talked about going back to old school. I'm not sure if it's in the rule book that this can still happen. I remember the junior league days, it was certainly the order of the day. It hits the upright. Johns with the miss. 10 to go, and it's the Kangaroos by 8.
Well, here's the pass from Kennedy. Was it forward or not? Wow, Costo. I think that's good play. You've got to pay that.
This is better play coming up here. The ability to stand a man up. Yes, he lost his footing. Well played.
Shallow restart. It's an illegal restart because it's come off Louis Anderson. It's a penalty here. He got in the way. And all of a sudden you get the impression that the tide is turning once more.
And the way that this game's been played so far for just over 70 minutes, it will change again.
Price.
Hold. Go.
Medeiros hands it on to O'Mealy.
Second. Hold.
So another try here. The Kiwis can ill afford, of course. Johns looking to put the NZers away once and for all. 3 metres out. Here he goes again. Tate beats 1, beats 2. Got rid of the pill. Medeiros, Lockyer, dancing, stepping, still going. The captain, he wants 3 perhaps. Back to his Bronco teammate. Tate on another touch. Exciting passage of play. 5 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Johns, back for Minicello, and he will get a double, and the Kangaroos, well, does he?
He got the ball down or he was held up?
You would have to think Minicello has done enough to score to grab his second and to secure a victory for the Kangaroos in the Tri-Nations.
The angled ball and the angled run, should I mention, put you on your heels. This is the finish of it. Well,
maybe
has the ball touched the ground? Looks to be held up, arms under there. Possibly the end on camera will give you the best view.
The only question there is whether or not Minicello gets over, and it's only then in the ensuing play that right here, the defender, whether his hand then comes under the ball. But there you get a tip where there is a hint that the ball, there is some white on grass. And as the ball rolls on, it's coming up right.
That's the point of impact that will certainly interest the video referees, but the call certainly
Good tackle for the ball.
could go either way.
I think you'll see from what we've just heard that it may not happen. It'll go back to play the ball.
Big call, this one. They are denied. Forget about benefit of the doubt. They miss out on 4 points, and Minicello cannot believe it.
It was held up. Darren Lockyer.
Well, you mentioned before we talked about fish and chip paper. There'll be a lot to write about in this game. There's been a lot of moments where one could question.
It's held up. You've got to play it, mate, wait.
Particularly with 8 minutes to go.
Play the ball.
Andrew Johns, the crossfield kick. Ball bouncing on the deck. Minicello, the man who has been denied, he'll have another dig. Oh, what a catch, put him in the slips, put him somewhere. Webster, how did he do that?
Well, the only place that Coach Brian McLennan would want to put him right now is over the try line with 4 to his name. Give him a double.
Triple. You've lost count.
Well, it all depends if you're driving.
9 minutes to go. Minicello with the kick. Webster with the catch. Fayumu. 8 minutes to go. Here's the last. What have they got, New Zealand? Brent Webb with the kick. Minicello in perfect position. He traps the ball with his boot. The chasing team, will they be caught out? Tate has got it. And he doesn't go too far. Some of the fans already leaving the venue. Cooper from dummy half, he makes a few meters. King, 5 short of halfway. Johns, ball goes to ground. Harvey's looking for it, he couldn't collect. Gasnier was mopping up for the Kangaroos. And a clearing kick now from the visitors will go dead and go. Paliasina hits it up for New Zealand. Kiwis, they have got 60 metres to travel. They need to score twice. Motu Tony, who checks back into the game, he will know that. He could be the spark. There's the other, I was going to say, there's the unconventional play the ball, the mousetrap play again. They've used that time and time again tonight. Brett Webb, Anderson. 3 in the tackle once more. Fitzgibbon, Lockyer. O'Donnell working together for the Kangaroos. The bomb from Stacey Jones is a good one, but Minicello, he is a magician at the back. Well, you call him a magician, but you also talk about confidence in a football, and not for 1 minute did anything about his body position. Everything about him was confidence. It was about he was going to regather this kick, and he did exactly that. O'Donnell. He's had a wonderful game tonight, the number 1. He was certainly controlled a lot in the opening 40 minutes, restricted in terms of meters run. But he's come out firing in the back half, given a little bit more space, and he's found it. Just over 5 minutes to go. And the clock will certainly become a friend of the Kangaroos. Play on's the call. Knock back was the call. They got the kick away. Webster now sets his sights, and they smash him up.
Just under 5 to go, and New Zealand really do have to chance their arm now. Who's going to create the damage? Faumu. Well, this man, Fatuera, has Webb had a whale of a game around the dummy half area playing at fullback. But they need something. They need a spark.
Oh, spectacular tackle. Trent Waterhouse, who was on the receiving end last week, this time dishing out some treatment of his own. Bungana plays it back for Tony. Wiki. Jones was collared. Penalty for the high tackle. Luke O'Donnell is in the thick of it. We've got a punch up here, albeit a brief one. Luke O'Donnell, of course, was rubbed out for 11 matches last year.
Luke.
for smashing the jaw.
Luke, don't want nothing around his head, okay, mate? All right. Okay,
of
mate.
Michael Monaghan.
Just leave it to me, okay?
Then playing at Canberra, of course. Nothing really in that one. Nothing at all. Penalty sufficient.
Costo, yeah, nice ball from Wiki. Just 4 to go on the clock. They need to score in the set of 6 if they are a chance of winning the game.
Less than 4 to go. Webb, Wiki, Webb, Jones. They keep it coming. Kedwell looking to flick it perhaps to Fatawira. He takes the tackle. Jones. Webb up from fullback. Puts the kick in. He's been held back. Has to be a penalty. It is a penalty.
Brent Webb's held back. Brent Webb fullback.
Quick tap on the cards here. Fayumu with the step and plants it. How easy was that? Don't go anywhere, folks. David Fayumu has scored. 4-point ball game. You're going to see the quickest conversion in a test match in a long, long time.
That was brilliant. The left foot step, quick as a flash. Stacey Jones might as well just drop kick it and give yourself some time. David Fayumu,
can you do that? Flags are up. The margin's back to 2 Fayumu. What a try.
Just have a look at this. It'll happen in a flash. Keep your eyes open. Here, well, this is Webb, and this is a kick, and he gets held back there by Banderas. And from here, while everyone's standing there, the ref, and here it is there, boom. Wow, breathtaking.
A restart from Andrew Johns. Can they conjure a miracle? We saw one last week in the eyes of so many people. Here we go. Jake Webster got it back to the 20-metre line, but it was heart attack stuff.
They're not going to die wondering.
Big contact. Azatazi says, get out of my way. The bench for Australia, they are nervous. Webb keeps it going. Anderson, 5 short of halfway. The Aussies, they thought they had this one won. 90 seconds to go. Jones, the little general, posing some questions. No one is fooled. Last tackle coming up now for New Zealand. Brett Webb goes to the heavens. No one's keen. Johns gets the bounce and takes the tackle. Wicked going for it. Well, he calls it a cuddle.
A cuddle with a shoulder, and shoulder only. There's Tate, good run up the middle of the field. Will they get the ball back? 50 to go, 50 seconds that is. Go!
Gasnier keeps it going for Australia. Lockyer making some metres. 40 metres out from the goal line. Gasnier testing the patience of the referee. Ball goes to ground. Surely it went backwards. Yes, it did. Here comes the last. Here comes a kick for the sideline, that is. In fact, out on the full is the call. So forget about the scrum. It's a play the ball. We're back underway in a flash. Over the top she goes. Fatawira with the dummy. Fatawira takes the tackle. Right in front of our commentary position. One more play to go. There goes the siren. They're going to spread it on the last play of the test match. No, they won't. Jones with the kick. It is finished. The Kangaroos have been tested to the limit. They hold on to win their first game of the tournament. They knock off the Kiwis in a thriller by 2. Some controversial moments throughout the 80 minutes. A game of high drama. a game of high quality.
Fantastic test match, right down to the wire. Exhausted players, fantastic contributions from both players, and Stephen was with the Australian captain, Darren Lockyer.
How satisfying is that, Darren?
Well, yeah, a little bit nerve-wracking there towards the end, but you know, a win's a win, and we go over to the UK now on pretty even terms.
You said at the start of the day that it was all putting it in context, and those 3 quick tries after the second, how much impetus did that give you?
Yeah, obviously they got us back into the game. Last week we got in front, we took the foot off the pedal, and I think we pretty much did the same again tonight. But full credit to the Kiwis, they played well.
Good tournament this one, huh?
It is, mate. You know, good competition, so looking forward to the next couple of games.
Good luck.
Cheers, mate.
Well, just for the record, last time they won here, the Kangaroos, was in the Tri-Nations final. They won that by 2. Tonight, it's the same margin. 28-26, the Kiwis, gallant in defeat tonight, of course. The series continues next week in London. Let's go sideline. Stephen is standing by with Nigel Vunganar.
A tale of 2 weeks, Nigel. Euphoria one week and sort of frustration this week.
Yeah, you know, I think it was the same period again. They scored a couple of quick tries and we couldn't stop their roll. I think once we learn how to stop their momentum, we'll be a better team.
What do you think actually went wrong tonight, if anything?
I think we probably panicked a bit. Maybe got caught up in the euphoria a bit, and you know, try to play, you know, a bit like individuals as opposed to a team. So,
well, mate, what's the call? Kaizen, continued improvement. You got a week to think about, then take on the Poms.
Yep, you know, back to the drawing board tomorrow, and off to UK, take the Poms on. So, yeah.
Mate, not disgraced. 2 points. Good fight back. Well done.
Yeah, we'll get them next time.
Okay, let's have a look at the card tonight. The Kiwis, they led 16-8 at half-time. 2 tries to Webster, Vunganar, Tony, Faiumu, all getting across the stripe. Jones 3 from 6. The Kangaroos, Lockyer a double, Cooper a double, Gasnier, Minicello also scoring tries. Fitzgibbon 2 from 5, Johns none from 1. The Kangaroos win this one by 2, 28-26 at the final hooter.
28-26, the final score in Game 2 of the Gillette Tri-Nations, and the losing captain this week, Ruben Wiki. How much went wrong or how much didn't go right? Same question, really.
Yeah, it's a great game of footy. You know, it's always a great game when these two sides get together and win right down to the wire, and you know, we come out second best. But you know, we can't wait to get over there and play these Poms, man. We get another shot at these guys.
Ruben, Nigel Vunganar said there might have been just a little bit of panic out there tonight. You agree?
You know, a little bit, you know, when we got behind, but we just reminded each other after the game we've got a lot of improvements, and that's, you know, we're improving every game, so that's, you know, 2 points. We lost by 2 points, it's heaps more than us.
Ruben, I know you're not a big one on records, but congratulations for equalling the Kiwi cap record of 46 with Gary Freeman, and another fine night leading the fort. So you're the Crisco man of the match. There's that wonderful hamper. We won't talk about that. Just go get stuck into it with you and the family, and good luck in Great Britain, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Crisco, and you know, there's 46 tests as a tribute to my wife and kids.
Good on, mate. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
What a survivor, what a warrior, what a toiler. Speaking of toilers, let's go sideline once more. Peter is standing by with the Kangaroo workhorse, Craig Fitzgibbon.
Craig, it was a wonderful contest out there tonight.
Yeah, it was. Playing really well, the Kiwis. They pushed us really hard last week, and I think we got criticised a lot throughout the week, but I think we didn't give enough credit to the New Zealand performance last week, and they brought on the field again today.
The difference tonight is obviously for yourselves. You got presented opportunities and you took advantage of them.
Yeah, we respected the ball a little bit better tonight too. I think we're coming into hostile territory, which is obvious, and you know, they took it to us over on our turf, so we had to come here and put up a good performance. I thought we did that, and we controlled the ball a lot better, and it ended up giving us the win.
Well, pre-game, Darren Lockyer talked about in context of the competition, it was good to get, you needed the result tonight.
Yes, certainly. We did, and as he said, the context of the competition, we needed that one, and we don't want to go to England 2 down, and you'd expect the Kiwis to really push England when they play them. I think they're going so well.
Well, thanks for your time and enjoy.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Well, here we've also got Stephen Price, and Stephen, we got asked down the corner there. You pulled back the little number 7.
No, he just jumped down, mate. He just had a dive. I just think he's too smart to, you know, we wanted a penalty, obviously.
Unfortunately, in games of football, there's always got to be a loser, but tonight it's hard to be too critical of the contest. It was quality.
Oh, yeah, it was. We obviously defended a lot better than last week, and we held onto the ball a lot better too, and the Kiwis still scored 26 points, so that just goes to show that the way they're playing, and they never give in.
And obviously it feels a lot better to have the right result and be able to head off to England with a win under the belt.
Yeah, it's obviously great to go over to England with a win, so, you know, we've got to play well again in the next 2 games, and hopefully we will with no injuries.
And on a personal note, when you talk about injuries, a bit of concern at halftime with your knee, it's all good?
Oh, yeah, no, I just sort of strained it a little bit, so same knee as I just came back from, and, you know, it was no concern, it was just a little bit loose, but it's fine.
Well, you better run, because I'm going to tackle you now. All the best in England, buddy.
Mate, thanks.
Settle who you're giving the luck to. Giving all the luck to the Australians, Pete. All right, there we go. Let's have a look at the numbers for the full game. The Kangaroos were on the board in the Tri-Nations, but only by 2. What a fight back by the Kiwis, but you cannot put it past the Australians. Those 3 to 4 quick tries just after the half, Peter, gave it to them in their possession stakes. Well, still favouring the Kiwis as it did in the first half, but the completion rate of the Australians far better in the second 40.
Well, and the difference this week was about the ability of the Australians to be able to capitalise on opportunities that came their way. The game went very similar, along similar lines of what we saw 6 days ago, but the difference is about opportunities. And when you look about the amount of pressure, you go back to that stat and you look at how much of a time that the Kiwis actually played in their own half, a lot of that particularly in the back half.
Ruben Wiki quietly said to me, he said, if that's the best they can throw them, then we've got a lot more in store for them.
Mate, the unfortunate thing, and Wayne Bennett was quite clear in this during the week, that unfortunately in football and any sporting contact, yeah, there's got to be a loser. The losses don't always come when you want them, but unfortunately one has to lose. This was quality football tonight, 2 good sides.
It was a crazy old night. I tell you what, when those final 2 minutes, everybody just standing on the sidelines, ourselves included, jumping up and down like madmen. But there you go, there's the full Tri-Nations rundown as we see it. It's 1-1 between Australia and New Zealand. Now Great Britain get a chance to test themselves against the 2 best nations in the world.
And don't underestimate the Great Britain side as well. It unfortunately looks as though they may not have Sean Long, which will be a big loss for that side. But Sculthorpe, he should be fit. The likes of Adrian Morley and that quality football side, so they're looking as well. They'll take a lot of inspiration, not only from the West Tigers' performance in the NRL, but also I think what we saw last week with the Kiwis up against Australia.
Lights are out, but we are still home right here at Ericsson Stadium. The final score in this one, the Australians win it 28-26 on a great fight back from the Kiwis, but it's not to be. Now they head to Great Britain for the final matches in this tournament, and we shall see what unfolds. What we have seen from the Kiwis so far is that there is a definite chance this side will probably be in the final in 2005.
Well, you'd like to think that both these sides have positioned themselves well to still be in the contest. Australia could very well have found themselves going to England with, you know, 2 losses against it, and they would have been out of the contest. But now, well, they're still in the hunt.
Okay, we're done and dusted for Game 2 of the Gillette Tri-Nations Series. There is so much more to come on the big show. Don't forget, tomorrow night, NPC final, Auckland Otago. It's all on Sky Sport. What a great week it has been in the City of Sails. It continues live on Sky.